In today's tutorial we're going to make these easy crochet booties, and we're going to go step by step in showing you how to be able to make a pair for yourself. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today's tutorial we're going to make these baby booties, and they are having a rib effect on the side, and we're going to create the sole, then create the ribbing effect, and then the straps. And the straps are functional, and we're going to be able to do all of that in just a moment. So let's just quickly review our yarn, what you need for a hook, and let's get started. The baby booties are pretty small, so you only need one ball of Bernat baby yarn, and this is a thinner yarn, so you're going to also need a 3.25. I'm going to use a 3.5mm crochet hook today, or a size D that you can see here. You'll need some buttons in order to do that for the strap itself, and there are two sizes available on here. You have 3 to 6 months, and then 6 to 12. So you'll have it in the instructions, and you can see the different colors. So 14 is the 3 to 6 month size, 22 is the 6 to 12 months. So whenever we go to look at the instructions, every time you see that there's a color variation here, it means that it's representing the two sides. So for example, when you go to start, if you're doing the 3 to 6 size, you'll chain 14, and if you're doing the 6 to 12, then you'll chain 22, and then you'll just follow which one that you're doing. This is not a very complex pattern. We're going to be doing a double crochet front post today, half double crochets, and etc. And let's get started now. So let's begin. We're going to create a slip knot, and I'm going to use an extra longer tail so that I can get rid of it later. It's easier to get rid of a longer tail when you have to weave in your ends. So let's create it, and I'm going to do the smaller size, the 3 to 6 month. In today's tutorial you can substitute the information just by following along in the pattern if you wish to do the 6 to 12 months. So I'm going to chain 14. So remember, the slip knot on the hook never counts as one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so there is the starting of the booty, just like so, and let's begin row number 1. So in row number 1 we are starting off with the bottom of the sole, and it's going to look like a horseshoe, and we're going to continue to get it bigger and bigger, and then we're going to start this beautiful half double crochet and the front post double crochet as well in this point. So we have to get this done first, and then there's a seam that's going to be along the bottom of the booty and then up through the back. So this will be going back and forth and not round and round like you would assume. So let's continue along with row number 1. So let's begin row number 1. So we need to go second chain from the hook. So just count back. So 1 and 2, go to the second and insert your hook in. And what we want to do here is that we want to apply 2 single crochets into that same chain, just like there. Okay, so I'm gonna go as slowly as I can. So the next 3 will be by themselves. So the next 3 single crochets will be on their own. So do that. So 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and now what we're going to do, the next 2 will have 2 single crochets into the same one. So 1 and 2 into that one, and do that one more time into the next stitch. So there'll be 2 in the next. So 1 and 2. Okay, and the next one is a single crochet by itself. So do that one. So here's the thing, this is actually a marking point that we need to do. So just pull up a loop and grab a spare piece of string and just insert it underneath into that same stitch. Therefore you'll know where the middle point is on this particular baby booty. Just makes it a lot easier. So just pull a string partially the way through. It just helps you keep this balanced. And now what we want to do is continue along the same path. So we're just gonna do opposite to what we've just done. So the next 2 will be double or single crochets. There will be 2 into those. So 1 or 2 into that one, and the next one will also have 2. So 1 and 2. Okay, the next 3 will be by themselves. So 3 double crochet or single crochets by itself. So 1, 2 and 3, and you have one more chain left, and in the final chain you have to place 2 single crochets into there. So 1 and 2. and that completes off row number 1. So you'll appear to have like a horseshoe shaped, and you can see where you are for the center point for your booty. Let's move along to row number 2. Let's turn our work and go for row number 2. So here's what we need to watch for. We need to watch for the center point where we have marked it, and we're going to start off, and let's just go slowly. So we're gonna chain up 1, and in the very first single crochet there's going to be 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Now here's the thing, is that we're going to single crochet 1 in every stitch until the second one before the stitch marker. Okay, so we have the stitch marker and go 1 and 2, and then that's where the fun stuff's gonna begin again on this one. So let's single crochet until we get to the second one before the stitch marker. So we're just gonna single crochet along. Okay, so I'm not counting, I'm just looking for the second one before the stitch marker. Okay, so here we go. We have the stitch marker here, and then we have 2 just before. So those 2 are each gonna get 2 single crochets into that. Okay, so here's the next one. This is just before the stitch marker. And now the stitch marker is going to get 1 single crochet, and I want you to move that stitch marker up 1, just so you can keep an eye on it. And now we're going to do the opposite down the other side. So the first 2 that you're going to do is going to be 2 single crochets each. So 1 and 2, and then the next one is also 2 into that one, 1 and 2, just like that. And now what we have is that we're going to single crochet all the way in until the final stitch, and in the final stitch we're gonna place 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. And just keep moseying along until you get to the final stitch, and the final stitch will have 2 single crochets in there. And that was row number 2. So now that we've completed row number 2, we have to complete this 3 more times, and the only difference is that we're gonna get bigger and bigger, so we have to keep an eye on that stitch marker in order to get bigger and bigger. So every time we get 2 stitches before the stitch marker, we add in 2, and then at the very end of each of the rows is that we have to add in an extra 2. So let me just do each of those. Let's move along to row number 3. Turn our work and go for row number 3. We're going to chain up 1 to start, and then the first one will have 2 single crochets in it, just like we did before. So 1 and 2, and so we want to look to the stitch marker and go and look for the second one back from it, so not that one. So 1 and 2, and that's where you're gonna put 2 single crochets into each. So you just have to look for that, but all what we have to do here is just single crochet ourselves at this point just to get to that moment. Okay, making sure I'm getting into every stitch. Okay, so I'm just looking. So here's the stitch marker, here's the other 2 right before it, so those will get 2 single crochets into each of those. Okay, so it continues to get bigger and bigger as it goes towards the front of the booty. The one in the middle, that's just gonna be a single crochet by itself. Move that stitch marker up so you can identify it in the next row when you get there. And now the next 2 that are after the stitch marker will have 2 single crochets each. 1 and 2, and next one is 1 and 2, and now we're going to single crochet ourselves all the way back to the other side, and the final stitch should be 2 single crochets into the same one. This pattern's easier than I expected it to be. Never judge a pattern by its cover, I tell you. So the final stitch going in will have 2 single crochets. So please continue. We're going to move up to row number 4 next. Let's turn our work, go for row number 4. It's exactly what we've already know, and we're gonna chain up 1. The first stitch will have 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, like so, and then we're going to single crochet ourselves all the way until we get to 2 before the stitch marker once again. Okay, so I'm looking for that stitch marker. This is row number 4. Okay, so stitch marker is there, so these are the 2 before it, so those will get 2 single crochets each. So 1 and 2, and then the next one is 1 and 2, and then the middle one here where the stitch marker is just 1 single crochet. Let's move up that stitch marker so we know where the center point still is. It's all about keeping your stitch marker balance. The next 2 after the stitch marker will be 2 single crochets each, 1 and 2, and the next one is 1 and 2, and just single crochet yourself all the way back to the other side. The final stitch is going to have 2 single crochets in, and this was row number 4. Okay, so the final stitch is next after this, and there will be 1 and 2 into that one. That was row number 4. Let's do row number 5, and this is what it's looking like at this moment. So it's really starting to make sense, isn't it? So let's begin row number 5. Let's turn our work and let's begin. Row number 5, we're going to chain up 1 first and 2 single crochets into the start. You already know how to do this. We're looking to single crochet until we get to the second before the stitch marker. So just single crochet across. Okay, we're doing good. I'm using that stitch marker as my visual point of what I need to do next. So here it is there. So 1 and 2. So I got 1 more to go before I put 2 in to each of the next 2. So 1 and 2. Next one is 1 and 2, and there will be 1 single crochet right in the center where the stitch marker is. Let's move up that stitch marker again. Okay, so the 2 after the stitch marker will have 2 single crochets each. So 1 and 2, and next one is 1 and 2, and then just single crochet yourself all the way to the other side and place in 2 single crochets in the very final. So after this row is complete, we're going to go back to the pattern and we're going to start doing something different for row number 6. So let's just get ourselves all the way over there. Okay, and the final stitch will get 2 single crochets. So that completes off row number 5. Let's move on to row number 6. This is what it looks like at this moment, and let's begin. So number 6, so we're gonna chain 2, and if you saw the abbreviations in the note, it says chain 2 at the beginning of a row does not count as a half double crochet. So when we go to do the chain 2, when we start here, this is not a half double crochet, it's more like a builder. So we have to put a half double crochet right into that beginning single crochet. So what we're going to do on round number 6 is that it's 1 half double crochet into each one of the stitches going all the way around. I recommend that when you hit that middle one with the stitch marker, just move that stitch marker up, but you're not doing any expansion at that point when you go to do this. So it's just 1 half double crochet into each stitch going all the way to the other side. Please do that and I'll see you over there. I'm coming up all the way to the end of row number 6 and I'm just half double crocheting into the final, and then we're gonna move up to row number 7 where the game plan changes once again. So let's begin. This is what it looks like at this moment. It's looking pretty good. Let's move up to row number 7. So row number 7, we're going to start creating the ribbing effect that you saw in the opening of this video with the baby booties. So let's begin. We're going to chain up 2. Remember that does not count as a half double crochet, and that's important for you to remember that. And we're going to half double crochet into the very first stitch. So here's the thing. We're going to create the ribbing effect. So every other stitch is going to be a front post double crochet. Okay, so to do that is that you wrap the hook and you come into the half double crochet that in the row below. You come in down through the side of the post and out through the other side. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2, and that creates the rib. Okay, so the next stitch that you're going to run into is going to be a half double crochet, and then the next one is going to be double crochet front post again. So just wrap, okay, and just skip over and go into the side of the post from the front side there, and you end up with these ribs. So the next one is half double crochet. So every other row is just, if you kind of keep an eye on it, if you just look into the back, you will be able to see the stitches that you skip as well. Okay, so just look for it. Once you establish this pattern, it gets really easy, and then you can just go all the way around doing the same thing, and it just is a matter of a repeat pattern. So you don't have to worry about any kind of shrinkage or taking away stitches. You just have to worry about doing front post double crochets and half double crochets in between. Okay, so I'll see you back here in just a moment. So do this all the way down the row. I'm at the halfway point in doing the front post double crochets and the half double crochets. I've just done the one around the stitch marker here. I don't know if we're gonna need that stitch marker once again, so I'm just going to place it and move it up underneath that same stitch just in case I need it. I don't know if I need it or not, but I'd rather catch it now than to guess later in case I do need it. So just continue along. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure that you pull that through because I might reference it because I might have to use it. So I'll see you back at the end of this row. So I'm coming up all the way to the end, and it's just one double crochet into the final. So how did I know that? Well, if you're looking at it here, I marked it with the stitch marker, and if you count the number of front post trebles or double crochets that you can see, there's 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and on this side there was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So I know it's in balance at this point. So if you've gone wrong at this point, that's a great way to test it. Let's move along to row number 8. So row number 8 is about maintaining what happened in row number 7, and after we're done row number 8 we have to do number 7 and 8 once again. So what we have to do is we have to maintain what is here. So we were working on this side and all the front post double crochets are facing outward. Okay, so when you're looking at your baby it would have, you could see this. But if I turn it around and I do front post double crochets now, is that it'll be on the inside of the boot. So we have to make sure that we change it now for row number 8. So how we start is that we're going to chain 2, and then the first stitch will have 1 half double crochet. Remember that chain 2 is not a half double crochet. So the next one that's here, you can see that it's kind of pushed back. It is a front post double crochet in the last one, but this time it has to be a back post double crochet. So you wrap the hook coming around from the back forward. Okay, so just wrap the hook coming in and come around that same post on the back side and just double crochet as normal. And then the next one is a half double crochet. Okay, so to do a back post again, just here you go. So you wrap the hook coming around from the back into and back out to the other side, wrap the hook, pull through 2 and 2. So you want to maintain this same patterning going all the way around, and so it's just half double crochet and then back post double crochet around the other post that you saw. Okay, and this will help keep that ribbing, and let me turn the work and show you. So this helps keep that ribbing even going even more, just like that. Carry on and do that for row number 8. So I'm coming up all the way back around, and I'm just being conscientious to where I am, and we're going to do a half double crochet into the final. So that was row number 8. Okay, so you can see all the nice half or double crochet front posts. So now we have to repeat rows 7 and 8 one more time. I will get you started on 7, and it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna chain 2, does not count as a half double crochet, so you have to half double crochet into the first one, and you just got to maintain it. So this time it's number 7 again, so just wrapping around the post and just do your double crochet and then a half double crochet in between. Okay, so that is number 7 once again, and just front post double crochet around the next one to keep the ribbing looking consistent. So please do this row number 7 again, and do row number 8, and 8 is the back post that we just finished. So please do those 2 rows now, and I'll meet you back up and we'll start the next row after that. So now that I've finished rows 7 and 8 one more time, this is what it looks like here, and you'll notice that it will naturally want to form the booty on its own now. So now we're going to just finish off the final 2 rows that you need to do, and this is the part of where the baby's top of the foot is. So let's begin, and let's start off, and we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2, and it says 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, and it says then double crochet around the front post and the next stitch. Okay, so we're gonna do see the front post there, you're gonna maintain that, and it says we have to do that same instruction 5 times. Okay, so that was 1 of 5. So the next stitch is single crochet, and then the next one is front post double crochet. Okay, that was 2. Come to the next one, single crochet, double crochet, front post. This was 3. Next one is single crochet, front post double crochet. This was 4. Single crochet and front post double crochet for 5. Okay, so we just done that 5 times. Let's move on and to the rest of this instruction. So now the instruction says miss the next stitch, double crochet front post around the next stitch 12 times. So here's the thing, the next stitch is a half double crochet. You're gonna skip it, so you're only gonna be playing within the front post double crochets anyway. So we have to repeat this 6 times. So we're gonna miss the next stitch and just immediately just front post double crochet, and we're gonna do that 12 times. So I would just count those out. So miss the next stitch, so that was 1, and next front post double crochet for 2, miss the next one, go to the third one over for 3. Okay, miss the next one, go to the next one for 4, miss the next one for 5, go to the next one, okay, for 6, miss the next one, go to that one for 7, miss the next one, go in that next one for 8, same thing for 9, same thing for 10, same thing for 11, and same thing for 12. Okay, so you just, it's gonna cause it to kind of collapse towards the top of the booty just like so. So let's begin the next set of part of this, and we're almost done with this particular row. So for the next part of this instruction, it says to 1 single crochet into the next stitch, which is a half double crochet, that makes sense, and then we're going to front post double crochet the next one, and we're gonna continue that all the way to the end. So the next one is a single, the next one is a front post treble or double, next one is a single, front post double, and the final one will be a single crochet. Just like that. Okay, so you're gonna see that it really kind of collapsed in at the top, and it's starting to look good. We only have 1 more row to go before we then start doing the strapping of this particular booty. So let's begin the final row. In the final row, we're gonna really collapse it toward the front of the booty here, and so we just have to pay attention. So we are going to chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into the first one. Now that is going to count as one of them, and we need to do a total of 7 of these. So that if that was 1, we need to do 6 more. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to put these double crochets that you see here, the front posts, together so that they come together. So how we do that is that we have to do that a total of 3 times before we hit the center point, and then do it another 3 times after the center point. So the first 2 are going to come together. So we wrap the hook coming from the back post of the first double crochet, pull through 2 and hold. Do the next one. So wrap the hook going into the next back post, pull through 2 and hold, and then pull through all 3 hooks. So there's 1, and we need a total of 3 of those. So just continue to do the next one. That was for 2. Pull through. Okay, so now we have 3 back post double crochets together. Okay, so they just became into 6 just became into 3. So now we're actually on the front post that you already have marked, and you are going to front post double crochet that one by itself, and then the next the next 6 are gonna be coming together. So just do 2 at a time. So just put them together. Okay, so that was 1 of 3. Okay, and this is 2 of 3, and then 3 of 3. And then all you're just gonna do 3 of 3. So all you're just gonna do here, so you see how it just came out together right at the front. So all you're just gonna do then is that you're going to single crochet yourself across the remainder of the stitches that are available to you. And then that's it. That's all there is to this particular pattern. And what we're going to do then is that we're going to create the back strap area, and we'll show you how to do that next. And we have to also then put our seams together. So this is seems like a really kind of an easy concept when you really break it down step by step, and this is what it's going to look like at this point. Okay, so let's begin, and let's start doing the strapping first before we do any kind of sewing together. So at this time, let's just take this and fasten this off. And I just want to do a nice job with it, so I'm going to just leave it as a loose tail for now, deal with it later, and I'm going to start the strap first. So you can see that it's kind of in a solid piece right here, and it's just a matter of sewing things together in order to bring it to conclusion. But let's begin the strap first, and then we'll do the assembly after. So let's begin to do the strap, and the strap for the size that we're working on is 33 chains. The bigger one is 40. So we just yarn over it, pull through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go all the way to 33 for me, and meet me back here in just a moment. I now have my 33 on here. It looks bigger, but remember it goes around the back of the baby's heel and then towards the front. So row number 1, we're simply going to count back, second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, turn it over and just a single crochet into the chain, and you're going to single crochet into every chain all the way back to the start. So okay, so this is row number 1, single crochet in every chain going all the way back. So now all the way back, and I want to turn my work, go for row number 2. So row number 2, we're going to insert a buttonhole as we go, so that it's right near the front. So we're going to chain 1 first and 1 single crochet into the very first stitch. We're now going to chain 2, 1 and 2, skip 2 chains, and then single crochet into the third one. That is your buttonhole, okay, for your particular booty. And then all you're just gonna do is 1 single crochet into each one of the rest of the single crochets all the way back down the way. Okay, so please do that all the way down, and I'll see you back, and we'll do row number 3, which is the final for doing the strap. So I'm just coming up to the end of row number 2 for this the strap, and I just want to turn it and continue. So row number 3 is just chain 1, 1 single crochet into the first one just like there. Okay, and what we want to do then is just 1 single crochet into each of there, and now when we get to the chain 2 space on the other side, we just want to insert 2 single crochets into that space in order to really firm up that hole, and I'll see you back there in a second. I'll show you. So I'm at the buttonholes area there. Remember that we skipped over 2 chains when we did that, or 2 stitches, so we're just gonna apply 2 single crochets into that space, and then just 1 single crochet right after, and we're gonna fasten this off, and we're gonna do a nice job of weaving in the ends in a bit. Okay, so now we have our strap. You're gonna do both of your straps the exact same way. It depends how you sew them on to the booty. That makes all the world of the difference. So let's go back to the booty now, and we're going to start putting things together and being able to just really make it quite cute. So we're going to sew the seams together next. So let's begin to sew, and I've put the same color yarn onto a darning needle, and I'm gonna create a slip knot to start here. I've turned the booty inside out so that the ribbing is on the inside here, and so I can seam up. So I'm gonna seam towards the top first. Okay, so put the 2 edges together. This is just the strand hanging off. I'm gonna worry about all that later, and I'm just gonna go into one side of the seam and go into the other side, and what I want to do is I want to pull this through, but I want to stop when I get to that slip stitch or the slip knot, and I want to put the needle through that slip knot, and it just helps lock it into position, as you go. So you're gonna just do a whip stitch, so just come back to the same side here and then back across, and just keep doing that until you get all the way down to the base. So just continue to follow it and just do a nice job. You know, you just want to be a little bit conscientious to where you're going into the stitches so that it looks great. So the seam line will be on the inside of the booty because we turned it inside out. So continue to do that and we'll see you back and I will show you how to fasten off and weave. I do a good job of just weaving in that final edge. When you get all the way to the bottom edge here, so I've just sewn all of this together, the best way to fasten this off is just to tie a quick little knot here. Right, just ram the needle through it. Okay. And then what you want to do to get rid of this tail so it never shows up is that you just want to put it through the stitch work. So just run it through some of the fibers in one direction and then run it back through in the other direction but through a different path, and then run it through again one more time in the other direction. So the stock or the booty can never actually stretch in 3 different directions at the same time, so that should never ever fall out. What I want you to do then is that I want you to take the rest of the tails that you have hanging out of your project and I want you to just spend some time. So this one here, it's already kind of tied at the top anyway, but what I want to do is I want to hide it and I want to use that same method of going back and forth. So just keeping to the inside of the booty, just glide it through one direction, glide it through the next, and glide it back. So do that with any of your tails that you have, including your strap. And when you're done this, what we can just do is turn the booty inside, or sorry, turn it so that it's the good side's facing out. I gotta deal with this one string as well, but you just want to turn it the other way. Okay, and so then this is what your booty will look like at this point. So now we have to apply the straps, which gives it the final cute look to it, and that's next. Now we want to apply some straps, well, one strap. And how you put the strap on depends on left or right. So what we need to do is that we need to establish where the strap's gonna go before you even know if it's left or right. And what I recommend is go for the 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and just apply a stitch marker there, and then you know where to start sewing your strap to. So just a 4 there. And to keep it consistent on the other side, just go and count 4 as well. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and put a stitch marker there. So now you know where the strap is gonna go from the back of the heel and where it's gonna carry across the top of the baby's foot. Okay, so what we need to do is once you determine what is left and what's right, you have to think about this particular hole. Okay, so what's gonna happen here is that you're going to apply the strap and it's gonna go in a complete circle. Just like this. Okay, so right from the starting point all the way back around, and then what you want to do then is apply so that the buttonhole is on the top. Sorry about that. So you just want to take your time and just start sewing this piece then to here. So if I do this way here, okay, this will be the left foot because the button's facing out, and if I want to do the right foot, all I'm just gonna do is just turn it around, okay, and just do it so that the buttonhole is on the other side. Okay, so it'll be like this. Okay, so you just have to be conscientious about where that buttonhole is. Let's begin to sew that and let me show you how to do that. Before I sew, I want to make sure that I get rid of these tails first that are in here, and again the same principle as I've already shown you. Just go back and forth 3 times on the underside of the stitch work and just bury in those tails. Okay, so if you go in 3 times, 3 different directions, you'll have perfect booty tails being hidden into your project without anybody even knowing it's there. Okay, so go in and out 3 times, and what I want you to do then is just come back and we'll just sew it to the top here to bring this tutorial to conclusion today. So I'm now ready to sew the strap to the booty itself, and I'm just applying my darning needle in, and I'm going to apply a slip knot over here. Again, I like my slip knots in there. It just, I get paranoid that things are gonna fall out. So let's make this into, what are we gonna say? This is going to be a right-handed. So let me make it into a right-handed booty. Okay, so to make it into a right-handed booty, I gotta make sure that the strap comes around this way. Okay, so what I want to do is that I'm going to match the end of the strap to where I've got the stitch marker, and I want to just go in and apply and pass through the strap and just insert the needle into the slip knot to lock it. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm going to match the stitches together because my tension is the same on both. So I'm just gonna match each one of the stitches with a whip stitch going from one to the other, and I'm gonna do that all the way around to the other stitch marker, and I want to take my time doing this like so. Okay, so what I want you to do is just sew your strap into position and just match all the stitches that you're seeing. So I'm coming up all the way around and I'm just matching everything till I get to the final stitch marker. Okay, which is right here. Just like that. So I'm completely done at this point, so I want to fasten this off, so I'm just gonna tie a quick little knot just here. I want to be very delicate about it because it's on the outside of the booty. Okay, and what I want to do then is that I want to apply my theory of just running through the hook through some stitch work. Just stay underneath some of the fibers. A good sharp needle is best for this kind of thing, going back in the other direction. So now we have to apply a button, which I will leave for you to do, and I'll explain how to do that next. Okay, so let's just cut that off right down there, and then I had the tail from when I started. I weave that in as I went, and now I have my strap there. I can remove out my stitch markers, and now I have to apply a button, and let me show you what to do with that, because the button will determine how tight it's gonna fit onto your little baby. So what I want to do is that the strap is gonna come across, and you are going to apply a button to where you need it. So if you need it tighter, just move the button back further. Okay, and if you want it more looser, just leave it out toward the top. You're going to apply the button to the inside here so that the button can fit through. So when you're testing buttons, make sure you can get your button through here first, and then just sew it with some thread to your booty there, and therefore you have a usable strap. So you just gotta shape your booty in order to get it to go, and this is how it works. This is the base and this is the top, and it actually turned out a lot easier than I ever expected. So enjoy your new baby booty and have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me today here on the Crochet Crowd, and thanks on behalf of Yarn Inspirations for joining us as well. We'll see you. Have a great day.